All right, well, Moses joining me on the desk. First, look at sports, and of course, we're going to begin with high school football. Holy Rosary Raiders have been phenomenal in the regular season, but of course, after a great regular season, you want to make sure that transition into the playoffs.
And they've done pretty well too. You know what? They had troubles last year. Remember, they had that great start, kind of struggled a little bit, and then finished strong. Now this time, they started perfect. And I mean perfect, 4-0, and they look to turn their attention to get back into the league final. All that's getting in their way is the semifinal matchup on Friday against those Cold Lake Royals. Matt Schumont has more.
Lacking intensity in the final weeks leading up to the playoffs, the Raiders' focus this past week was the ability to play a complete game. And the effort was there, blanking the Bonnyville Voyageurs 33-0.
It was a little better. We saw some improvement in some areas that we had focused on in practice. So overall, yeah, I was happy with the effort the kids put in.
Well, we kind of had an easy transition going into that game, and our tempo wasn't really as high as we'd like it to be. We really wanted to step up and set the mood for the rest of the playoffs.
Now as the Black and Silver get ready for the postseason, the key factor will be the defense, who gave up a league-low 24 points. They'll have to lead the charge as they get deeper into the playoffs.
Our defense has played excellent all season, and can't say enough about the job the coaches have done this season. We have really good weapons everywhere on the defense, and we utilize them properly.
As we get a little deeper in playoffs and the weather starts to change a bit, defense has to be solid. I think the kids have done a pretty good job so far this year defensively.
Up first is a September 26 rematch against the Cold Lake Royals. And after building a comfortable lead, the Raiders let the Royals make things interesting, only coming out with a 17-14 win.
We know what Cold Lake's all about. Like they're a tough football team, well coached. They've been in some close games this year and been on the losing side of a couple close ones. But I know they're going to be better for those losses. You always talk about you can learn a lot from a loss, and I know that they will.
Our heads were kind of in the clouds. Came into the second half thinking that it was going to be just as easy as the other two games were, and it turns out that it wasn't. They kind of punched us in the mouth, and we just about let them get back. It's been our closest game this year. So.
Matt Schumont, Newcap Sports.
That's your first look at sports. Troy Lampow has your weather details coming up. He's a mix of strength and size and can wreak havoc for goalies and defensemen alike. Taylor Mulder's success has come as a surprise for the big man, who made the switch to the forward position because of circumstance.
When you see Taylor Mulder, he's not hard to miss. But besides his brute strength, Mulder's possessed a different type of skill.
I made the squad as a defenseman, and we were short forwards, and Gary asked me to go up, but went up, but I did pretty well, surprised myself, surprised the coaches, so ever since then I've pretty much stuck.
A hidden scoring talent that has shocked both himself and the coaching staff.
It's very difficult to change that late in life. I've heard of forwards changing to go to defense. I haven't heard of a lot of defense that have been able to make the switch at midget or junior.
I told him I played defense before. He didn't believe me because he's wondering where I got my scoring touch from, and I told him I was just what as surprised as he was.
And Mulder's teammates on the back end know how tough it can be to switch positions.
I played forward a little bit in junior B there when I played in Whitecourt, and it wasn't too pretty, so I don't think that'd be the best move.
No, I'm happy where my shoulders are at right now. It was a rough year for me, but he's a big force, and he can do that pretty effectively. I think he puts the fear of God into any D-man he's playing against.
Not to mention striking fear and admiration to a former Fort McMurray bench boss who coached against the 6'4" forward.
It's a heck of a lot easier when you're on his side. Probably the biggest thing is, as an outsider, you don't realize till you get here how hard this kid works. That was the first thing that really kind of surprised me. He's a kid who works as hard as anybody on the ice.
Mulder's impact in the lineup can't be understated. A big part of their success, literally. Since returning from a wrist injury, the Bobcats have won 6 of their last 8 games, erasing the bad memories of a sluggish start to the season.
Definitely did help out. He's one of our key players. He's really good on the power play. Helps us out a lot there too.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt there is. He's a guy that can give a lot of confidence to his line mates. He gives a lot of confidence to the forward group as a whole.
He helps everything out. He pushes guys to be more physical in front of the net, and it just makes everyone else around him want to be better too.
High praise for a player who himself had a simple goal.
I thought I'd be like fourth line, kind of muck in front of the net, but I know I'm doing okay, I guess, hold my own.